What's going on, Philadelphia? I've got fresh baked apple pies for everybody who wants to play GM today. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous as wanting the Tush Push band. Am I right? Diana Rossini telling us on Friday, as I am recording this on a Friday right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for tuning in as always. Please remember to rate, subscribe, like, follow. Wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, I really appreciate that. Does the NFL have enough teams this time for like the third year running and the 25th debate? I'm not even going to debate the Tush Push with you. It's a great play. Fuck you guys. You should have done better. The NFL passed the rule that you could push the runner. This is not the Philadelphia Eagles' fault. If you want to overcorrect this because one team's good at it, so be it. But my question to you is this today, with some fleeting Friday thoughts. Do they have enough? And rather than going through every team that I think it would be in favor of banning this, I'm going to give you 7 teams that I don't think would be, but 5 of them I think could be influenced. So I can get to 19 or 20 teams depending on how you feel about the Raiders. I didn't know where to put them, so I just put them as a yes because I know Tom Brady doesn't like it. Tom Brady's basically running that organization, and you're a fool if you don't believe that, and he gets to call games on Fox while he does it. What an incredible life. But I've got 20 teams that could say yes, which would still fall short of the 24 needed this weekend as all the billionaires drink overpriced cocktails and talk about how much fucking money they have and listen to Sean McVay being smart on the rules committee. That's basically what this weekend is all about. So here are the 7 teams I don't think will take the bait. The Dolphins, a maybe. These are all maybes. Colts, Texans, Ravens, Jaguars. I think they're going to say no ultimately. And the Browns and the Lions I have down as a solid no. Mostly because I think the Browns have a lot of business to do and a lot of shit to take care of. And they do not want to piss off a potential trade partner. It's got a lot of picks in a different division. And they've already done business already. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind. But do you believe the Dolphins, Colts, Texans, Ravens, or Jaguars could be persuaded? Could we even get to 24? We're at 20 now. Who are the 4 teams that might say yes? The Jaguars I'm going to put as one of those teams just because they're dysfunctional as hell. They don't even really care about football or just are so obtuse to the concept of building a team that they'll do anything to lower the competition and to gain an advantage. So I would say the Jaguars could be persuaded. I'll also say the Colts, but again, been a good trading partner for the most part. However, just like a lot of these teams that I have written down as yeses, like the Giants, the Titans, people like that, like, hey, you know what? Fuck you, Howie. You know? So I could see the Jags and the Colts crossing a line, which puts us at 22. The Dolphins, I guess, I think they like each other. They don't like each other, kind of like frenemies. The Dolphins are the weird younger brother like me who's not as successful as the older brother. They're just there. I'm like, all right, fine, we'll keep doing business with you, but man, you guys suck. So that would get us to 23, and I just don't think the Texans or the Ravens say yes. I just don't think they do it, you know? But there are too many people on this committee willing to persuade everybody to ban this thing, including, like I said, Sean McVay, John Lynch is on there, John Mara is on there, or Mara, however you say his stupid billionaire name. Do I think this gets banned this offseason? I don't. For the 3rd offseason in a row, or 2nd, whatever it's been, I think it's a solid no across the board. However, just like Jason Kelsey, just like Brandon Graham, this is probably the farewell tour for the Tush Push as we know it. This will be the last season in its ultimate form. I still think there's a possibility that they could just amend it so they take out the actual push, which leads me to, how do you still fucking stop the new QB non-push play that the Eagles come up with? Aren't you just putting Van Sumeren or A.J. Dillon or even Saquon Barkley in between Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens' gap, that A gap right there, just kind of angled to the left of Jalen Hurts and allowing him to get momentum with more 600 pounds of legs, right? And just creating that natural wedge, because the offensive line with this play will always, 1,000 out of 1,000, have the advantage advantage with timing because they're snapping the fucking ball, right? Like it's just QB sneak, but no one's doing QB sneak with someone in that A-gap wedge. And even if you don't want to do that, welcome to the Navy triple option. You can run so many things out of that with this crew, and you do have so many incredibly fast running backs and wide receivers to confuse everybody with motion. And, it'll just be interesting to get to know this offense this year. Tush push or no tush push. And yes, just as a reminder, the Packers are the ones that are moving forward with this and being loud about it and be like, I'm going to be the John Hancock and put my big signature on here. But you know that this is all of the NFC playoff teams getting together and be like, Packers, you got to do it. You lost. You lost in the first round. With the exception of the Lions. The Commanders 1,000% want to be that, but they can't because if they speak loud enough, that's going to cause some disruption for the Sixers and the Eagles partnerships if they're the ones doing it. So politically, maybe that's where I'm wrong, by the way. Politically, maybe the Commanders don't do that for that specific reason. But man, if you're playing against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game and you don't have that play, they definitely, Josh Harris is too much of a conniving cunt. So like, of course it's going to be the second John Hancock. The largest signature on this will be the Commanders in second. So here now is, I'm going to go back to last episode for a minute. I brought up the Packers as being low on the who could be a possible trading partner. And this was the biggest reason. And I did think of Jair Alexander and being like, yeah, I mean, he's out there. His contract is an absolute mess, like in a good way, where Howie could totally rework it with some of his void deals and all that. What do you think of this? It was a mixed bag when I asked Twitter, and I thought it was a great discussion in the Discord, by the way. An amazing discussion, and thank you to Mike for all of this and pulling all of this stuff out. What do you think of taking Jahan Dotson and putting him in Green Bay for Jair Alexander and maybe even getting pick return, pick swap with that? And the reason I say that is because I know you're going to jump down my throat right away, be like, did you not watch the Super Bowl? It's Quez Watkins with hands, as I called him, and that paid off. That insurance policy paid off in the Super Bowl. But when you kind of look back at where all of the balls went, your third wide receiver on this team is Saquon Barkley, or it's Dallas Goedert. It's pretty much split up in between those two guys after Smith and AJ, and that's not surprising, but I'm just saying is holding on to a $6 million wide receiver, which isn't much. He's still on his rookie contract, who's got great value, to go to a team that is so desperate for a number one wide receiver. And I do think him and Jordan Love would get along, and yes, you're going to see him in the playoffs, and does it fucking matter? No. And yes, when you look at Jair right now, he's had health issues for the last 2 years. He already sounds like an Eagle based on the way that they're building this team anyway. A depreciating asset. And even if you're worth 7 to 10 games at 28 years old, isn't that just good to have? When he is healthy, he is a very productive turnover machine. And I want to get to Keely Ringo in a second too. That's what we'll finish with. But I just feel like that would be a pretty decent move for everybody. Because although the insurance policy helped win you a Super Bowl, 22 targets throughout the year, and the last 11 of them came in the final Giants game where there were no starters playing. So hoping that he has a nice big year, and even if Dallas Goedert isn't here, okay, if Dallas Goedert isn't here, yes, does that give him more targets, more opportunities? Does that allow him to go, run more seam routes, etc.? Yes. If Dotson isn't here, doesn't that make Dallas Goedert more valuable the next offseason? More than Jahan Dotson would? How are you going to display Jahan Dotson's value? 22, let's give him all of them. 33 targets. He's got 33 targets in the year. How does that equate to him getting a big payday and the Eagles getting a huge comp pick? It doesn't. If Dallas Goedert's value increases, and let's say we get truly lucky and he stays healthy the majority of the year, 14 games, which, by the way, in his career, he hasn't missed many games. Doesn't his value continuously increase when a tight end market looks worse and worse pretty much every single year? You still have an opportunity to at least get a high day 3 pick with Dallas Goedert. I think it'd be maybe silly to expect a 3rd round pick, but a 4th, 5th, absolutely. Way more than I believe Jahan Dotson would be worth on the open market with whatever he shows you here. It's not like the defense. You can't just go out and get 8 sacks and then become the highest paid player in the NFL. I think if it's going to stay how it is with the contract, Dallas needs to show how valuable he is, and so do the Eagles. So that's why I think taking out Jahan Dotson and getting some competition for Keely Ringo would be a really, really smart move. And speaking of that, Forget who said it, but Ryan pointed this out in the Discord, and we got into a little tiff, and it's mainly just like a talkers versus writers thing. Keely Ringo is not, will not be, or is not in the vicinity of Quinyon Mitchell. There is not an upside where Keely Ringo finds Quinyon Mitchell, even in year one of Quinyon Mitchell. We do realize that that guy is also going to get continuously better now. Continuously better. There is no way that okay, here's what I'll say. If Keely Ringo ends up anywhere near the talent of Quinyon Mitchell, meaning no wide receiver gets thrown to, and it's all in the middle. It's nothing but running backs and tight ends for everyone that plays the Eagles. I will shove this microphone up my butt for at least 5 seconds, because that's just some off-season boo-ha-ha to get you excited. That is not even an opinion. That's just, this man could have the potential, and if he doesn't get there, you can chicken out by saying, so I just said he had the potential. He obviously didn't reach it. Pick a side. If you believe that Keely Ringo is going to be that good, say it. They don't need another corner because that guy is special. He's just as special as Quinyon Mitchell. People just need to see it. Slay was holding it up. It's a great argument. I would think about it. Go, oh shit, maybe I'll buy into the PR. But that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Keely Ringo needs competition, and he's yet to find it, and there is no way that the Eagles are walking into training camp handing him the job. You have got to go compete. If you know anything about Vic Fangio or what we learned about him, you know that that's not happening. So those are my fleeting Friday thoughts. I am really curious what you think on all of them. Is there enough teams to get to 24? Do you think that Dotson and the Green Bay Packers trade would work? And am I overreacting to this Keely Ringo take? This is Watching the Birds. Go check out the descriptions below for everything else, and I will see you on Tuesday. See you.